Hey everybody, it's Heather. Welcome back to Shining Song Starnova. Then last we left off, well actually, when I first opened the game, I was a little worried because it couldn't get past the Sekai Project logo. It would just keep crashing. So first thing I did was go to Steam and check the integrity of the game files, and somehow 108 files had gone missing. I have not touched this game folder, so I don't know what in the hell happened. But anyway, yeah, as we left off, you're still kind of nuts, and I feel really sorry for Kaori now that she's alone with you, because everyone kind of says, now that everyone's in on the fact that Kaori may or may not have been planted here intentionally as a time bomb, basically. I'm very worried. Yeah, Nemu into the office of Kaori. For some reason, the room felt unnaturally quiet with just the two of them. Maybe because it's a bit awkward and no one's talking. No one else. Just my theory. Nemu felt as if she could hear her own heartbeat if she tried hard enough. Okay. Okay. Nemu led Kaori to a tall steel shelf bearing a number of cardboard boxes. Do not try and make her have an accident. I swear to God, do not. Nemu opened the storage closet and began rummaging through various bins. She found a small plastic ladder in the back and pulled it out. Yeah, what's up? You seem very, perturbed. She just... It just snaps around, just... Huh? What'd you say, little bitch? No, don't worry. You can tell Nemu-senpai anything, right? Hand creeps around shoulder, clenches and tightly, nails digging into skin through cloth. Nemu put the stepladder on the ground and put her hands on Kaori's shoulders. This is turning into a horror story. Stop it! Wait. Really? Like, legitimately? Or, like, I want to believe you. I do. Really? Oh. Nemu smiled warmly like a kind upperclassman at a private academy for refined girls. That's an interesting description. Is that patented? Trademarked, I mean. That is true, yeah, that's... Yeah. Not familiar with that, but okay. I'd like to think so, yes.
でもこんなところで時間を無駄にしたらあの小玉がうるさくなるわ。急いであなたに合うジャージを探さないと。はい。
Well, this has been surprisingly more heartwarming than I was afraid it would be. Huh. Then I picked up the step ladder and approached the shelf.
ここら辺にあるはず。ダメです。ネム先輩にそんな仕事はさせられません。脚立はお任せください。
Carrie got on the ladder herself and reached for the cardboard box off the shelf. Do not turn this around, Nemu, I swear to God. My, what a cute little specimen of a girl. Nemu. It would be a shame. Something were to happen to her. Nemu. Don't. Good! And it was going so wholesome for a second. You Why? A sinister grin split Nemu's face in half. She put her hand on the steel shelf. One little shove would be all it would take to send the frame and everything on it tumbling down on Kaori. After all, even if you're out here to sabotage us, I couldn't let a cute girl like you join and mess everything up. Indeed, the very center position that Nemu had worked hard for everything was now threatened. Even if Kamijo was lying about Kaori's fling with her fan, she was her enemy. No! A growing flower needed to be nipped at the bud, lest it bloom and take producer's attention away. Stop it! Nemu? Oh, that way, did I didn't mean to interrupt. Is rationality kicking back in? But right as she was about to do it, just like the time with Mika in the water puddle, hesitance struck her the last moment. The quiet voice in the back of her head told her that she was not acting herself, that she was now the center of Starnova and couldn't behave this way. What am I doing? Yeah, I just thought it was a terrible thing to Kaori-chan. I mustn't do this. It isn't what Brutus-sama would want. That's not what fucking That's not the point. That's not the point. That's the point. That is not the point. I mean, if it gets... Moving on. Ellipses. Uh-oh. Her eyes nearly popped out of her skull in wicked thrill as Nemu shoved the shelf over. I swear to God. With an enormous crash, Kaori vanished under the steel shelf in a mountain of boxes. Nemu looked at the scene, barely able to contain her laughter. Barely, but apparently not. That's what you get for thinking you could ever dance beside me. But I best make sure this is like an accident, lest anyone suspect anything. Nemu pretended to rush to her Kohai's aid. She threw the cardboard boxes on top of Kaori off and found her pinned down to the steel shelf. Oh God, why? It is not, because you're not helping. You're making it worse. Kaori gagged for air as her body twitched in agony. The bottom of the shelf had pinned down Kaori's ankles that came down. Her face was white with horror as she saw her own foot hang lopsided from her leg. You did this! You did this! Nemu pretended to struggle to lift the steel shelf up, but it was too heavy for her to move anyways. I sighed to myself as I left the Soma building. Granted, I foresaw the tone of the meeting wasn't going to be positive. However, to think they would actually threaten to cancel our contract unless our next album moved 50,000 units. Jesus. Of course, while that had been our original target to begin with, that goal did in fact appear in a full-blown scandal in the papers about our center. With everything that was going on, meeting that target was going to be an uphill struggle. My cell vibrated. What could it possibly be now? Booster, come to the hospital right away. There's been a serious accident. Kari-chan's been... My heart skipped a beat. Where are you? I heard the right away. An accident? And a serious one at that? I immediately ran screaming for a cab and headed to the hospital. I stood in the hallway after being briefed with the doctor on Kari's condition. My head hung in defeat. Her ankle was broken to the joint. While her life was not in danger, there was a real potential for permanent disability. No! It is going to be really hard for me to get back into any mindset where I'm actually supporting them at all. Like, if possible, in general. I don't... After that, nah. I'm like... Even in the best case scenario, it would take months of physical therapy before she would be able to walk again. Of course, dancing or any kind of athletics would be out of the question for the rest of her life. Already there was a flotilla of news vans parked outside the hospital, being held back only by a wall of Golden Calf employees. For the first time, the creeping realization that I was hopelessly defeated echoed in my head. Forget the scandal in the papers. A young girl had been permanently disabled under my watch in the very office where I worked. My insides churned in horror at what had transpired. A voice took me out of my despair. Well, good day, producer-san. Oh, God. Kamijo-san. You have my sincerest apologies for what happened. For the poor girl to be injured like this in my own office. No, I'm not too concerned. Golden Calf really decided Anita Cowrie had no future in the idol business long before this unfortunate incident occurred. How unfortunate it is, though, for you to lose your new talent so soon, and right when we finalize the terms of the deal, too. I'll accept full responsibility. This happened on my watch. I'll let Kari-chan that she's well taken care of everything that she's been through. You do. Kamajo chuckled to himself, apparently completely unfazed with the gravity of the situation. Of course he doesn't fucking care. Very well. Then on behalf of Golden Cap Productions, we will drop any claims we may have arising from this unforeseen incident. Thank you very much. A sad incident, to be sure, but let us not dwell on what could have been. Still, it is strange. Does something still concern you? For such an unusual incident to occur in the midst of everything surrounding Nita-san's transfer. I hear she was alone with Akimoto-san when it happened. I wonder if this is truly an accident. God damn it. Honestly, here's the thing. After everything that's happened up to this point, this would not be an unrealistic or unreasonable response. Like, there's something to be said for standing up for the people, but like, when there's actual reasonable doubt, or reason to suspect, and oh God. Like, you could look at this as selling her out, and that's not inaccurate. But at the same time, maybe my train of thought here is, by going this choice, get to the bottom of it and get the girl some help, because fuck. I'm just gonna go with this. No, yeah, you're right. We'll go to the bottom of this, I swear. Oh? Suspecting your own sinner and of criminal acts, no less. You surprised me, Producer-san. I'm not saying she's behind any of this, but I won't rest until I have answers. I see. Well, any matter is no longer any concern to me. A shame this deal cannot be mutually beneficial. It was never intended to be, you bitch. Then farewell, producer-san. Yeah, piss off. With that, Kamajo strode away toward the elevator, leaving me by myself. Ugh. This is a whole new kind of stress and fucked up. God. With Aki, it was her past trauma and the abuse she'd suffered. With Mika, it was the abuse and trauma she suffered at the hands of, some psycho. And now, the psycho is a member of the fucking group who has actually physically harmed somebody. Oh, sweet God. Okay. Kaori was still unconscious from the operation. Meanwhile, I had tucked away my talents at safe houses, far away from the eyes of the media. Despite that, this is not the time to give up. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I picked up my cell phone and began dialing numbers immediately. Nema wandered around the outskirts of town, and a new meat cleaver she had picked up at a department store safely tucked away in her purse. This is why... This is why I chose that option. Because maybe, just maybe, that little bit of suspicion can help actually move things forward to... Getting rid of that pesky little bug was far easier than she could have ever imagined. To think it was so easy to break another being's ankle. Yes, all it took was a little push, a little jab there, a little cut here. That was all it took to make all of her troubles vanish. Why did you not realize this sooner? Humans were such fragile creatures. But that was not to say she was anything like that, no. She had ceased to be a human being now. In what capacity? Psychologically, because certainly not physically. A demon had taken over the body which formerly belonged to a girl named Akimoto Nemu. A girl fed nothing but lies since her birth. She had lived in the gilded cage the murderer of her mother had built to hide her crimes. Her own father turned a blind eye to the murder, perpetually living in fear of his dangerous wife. Given those conditions, how could she ever grow to be normal? Yeah. She lived in eternal fear unless she repressed her emotions deep within her heart and pretended to be living the idyllic life of a perfect heiress. But now the answer was clear. After having taken the initial step, everything else was a piece of cake. It was only the first time that was difficult. Having bloodied her hands once, she felt no hesitation at spilling blood once more. At long last, who is your goddamn target now? She was going to get her vengeance. Okay. Haruna-san, Nemu is coming for you. Actually, given this does actually make it sound more threatening, yeah. Welcome to my nightmares. Good. Great. I'm calling this here. Yeah, no. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.